What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how I have my drum set mic'd. The equipment I'm using, this is a Tama Imperial Star drum kit. The cymbals are not stock, they are not the original. I bought the Meinl Classics Custom. Comes with a 20-inch medium ride, 16-inch medium crash, 18 medium crash, and then I believe 14-inch hi-hats. I think. I don't know. They're bright as hell. They're almost too bright. So if you're looking for more of a dry sound, I would not recommend these. Not that they're bad at all. They're amazing, amazing. They'll cut through any mix for sure. As for microphones, I got SM57 on the timbali, SM57 on this. I believe it's a 13-inch Pearl Piccolo snare. SM57 on the high tom, SM57 on the mid tom, SM57 on the low tom. I got a matched pair of Rode, what are they, the N5s, I think they're called? Or, I have the box somewhere. But yeah, they're the matched Rode microphones for the overheads. And then for the kick drum, I have a Shure Beta 52A, and you want to make sure that's pointed right at the beater. I don't even have the resonant head on this because I wanted to get that thing as close as possible to the batter head, the front head. So I got this pillow for dampening here, and then all the wiring, I have it as organized as best as possible. And this is all going to a Presonus 1824, which has been a very good interface. I definitely recommend it. My gain settings, kick I have a little past 12 o'clock, snare I have a little past 12 o'clock, timbali on channel 3 I got a little less than 12 o'clock, and then channel 4 and 5 for my left and right overheads I have in between 12 o'clock and the lowest setting, because when I turn on the 48 volt phantom power, it's pretty harsh. It's way too harsh if I have it at 12 o'clock for channels 4 and 5 for the overheads. And then 6, 7, 8, they're all at 12 o'clock. That is for the high tom, mid tom, low tom. I don't, as far as the overheads, I can't really play with mic placement too much because I'm limited by this. I'm in a camper right now, converted studio. But yeah, I mean, as long as you get the sound that you're looking for, you know, that's all that really matters. And I've been really happy with what I'm getting out of this setup currently. I'm gonna try to get you guys a quick preview. Alright guys, so I'm here in Logic Pro 10, and as you can see I have all the tracks named. Channel 1 is the kick drum mic, channel 2 is the snare drum mic, 3 is timbali, and so forth. Let's take a listen to what we have. Alright, so not bad. It's not my tightest playing, but it'll do for the sake of this video. First thing I like to do is on the kick channel. I leave it at 0 dB, leave it centered on the pan, and then for audio effects, first thing I do is the EQ, and then let's solo that out so we can hear. Whoops, not the low tom, we want the kick. Now, I can either leave it how it is. First thing I like to do is definitely at least take 35 hertz. That's still pretty low. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could do 50. It just depends how much low end you want, so we can listen to the difference. See, that's more punchier. If you want a little more sub, I would drop it down to 35. Which I like, so I'm going to do that. And then however much top end you want, you can decide that for yourself. Then I like to add some compression. So I'm gonna open up, I usually like to do the vintage FET and adjust it accordingly. I'm gonna play around with it for a bit. Cool. So all I did there was I tried putting the gain at 0 dB, but it was way too much, so I left it at -12, and then I put some distortion on soft. I left the threshold at about -20, ratio 2:1, makeup, I left that alone, and it sounds fine. Again, I'm not a professional, this is just, basic stuff. Last thing I like to do is put a noise gate. So if I go, I think it's dynamics, yeah. Noise gate. And then if you go to the, I think I have it saved as drum gate, but my settings for a drum gate, put the threshold to -6, reduction all the way down to -100. Hysteresis, if somebody knows what that is, please explain that to me. I don't know what it is. And attack, I have it at 3 milliseconds, hold 200 milliseconds, release about 100 milliseconds. Cool. Now let's see how that sounds with the rest of the mix. Cool, now we're gonna work on the snare, so do the same thing, then put an EQ on it. And I'm going to probably take out, because I'm not going to need anything less than 100 hertz on it. And then if you are going to do vocals and stuff, you probably want to cut it down to like 10K, just to leave the upper, 16 to 20K for vocals. I'm gonna do a high cut at 8500 hertz, just to save some of the higher frequencies, and then I'm not gonna compress it because it already sounds pretty good. And what I am gonna do though is add some reverb, so I'm gonna do a send channel to bus 1. So you can see bus 1's here. I'm gonna rename that snare verb. And then I'm going to add space designer on this bus channel. And for wetness, I'm going to leave it at -10. We don't need any of the dry because the dry signal is already coming from the snare channel itself. And I already have these preset. I'm going to do something from the factory settings. So let's go large spaces, halls, and I want something around 3 seconds. So let's try Stone Hall. Why not? Then I'm going to turn it up here on this little dial right here. can leave it about right there at 29 and a half. And then timbali, probably bleed enough into the snare drum mic to where I don't need to add reverb on that, but I will EQ it. We'll bring it up to 100. And then left overhead, right overhead. Definitely going to EQ that. And for those, I'm going to bring it to 200 hertz because they're just picking up the cymbals and what have you. I will try doing a high cut on them as well and see, because it might be too harsh, but it's just whatever your ears prefer to hear. And then for the high tom, low tom, and mid tom, I'm going to EQ it to, these ones we'll call 140. Why not? And you always want to do EQ first in your I think it's called signal chain or something. I used to do like compression first or a bunch of other stuff first, but unless it's an amp simulator, like the ones that come stock with Logic, you want to make sure that you do your EQ first and then compression. I learned that from a music tech help guy. You should go check out his stuff. It's pretty good. And then on the toms, I do like to add a noise gate as well, and I just use the preset that I already have, which is the drum gate. And this is just a pretty basic setup for your drum mix, and it actually comes out not too bad. We'll take a listen here in a sec. And then I like to position the panning of the different channels of the different drum parts. You can either do it in the perspective of the audience. I like to do it in the perspective of the drummer. So in this case, kick and snare in the center. Timbali is going to be at about -30 to my left. Left overhead is going to be all the way over here. I like to put it about 40. And then the right overhead at 40 to the right. And then high tom, usually like to do about 16. Mid tom, 28. And this isn't perfect. Low tom, we'll put that at 45. Alright guys, and that's a pretty basic, quick little setup for your drum recordings.